Hey, I'm Markia. Want to hear something scary?
Rotten. The pile of candy wrappers grew and grew on Ella's floor. One after the other, she scarfed down chocolates, sour gummy worms, and hard candy. It had been a very successful Halloween night. From the hallway, her older sister Talia warned her, "Be careful with all that candy, Ella. Hasn't anyone told you about the curse?" Talia explained that there was a teeth curse, that when you ate candy past midnight on Halloween, the sticky sweets could seal your doom. She'd heard of people who'd woken up on November 1st with their teeth glued shut by candy and inexplicably beginning to rot. And then they'd have to pay a visit to a specialist, like Dentist Mike and his beloved set of dental tools. Dentist Mike wasn't the family dentist. He was the somewhat odd and hermit-like specialist that normal dentists send you to. If you needed Dentist Mike, then your mouth was in really bad shape. Talia stepped closer to Ella and continued, "Ella, eating candy past midnight on Halloween is like entering yourself into a cursed lottery. And if you are chosen as this year's unlucky victim, then there's no hope. Dentist Mike only has one tool that can fix it: the drill." The sharp sound of a dentist drill echoed through the room, startling Ella and causing her to bite her tongue. Her sister doubled over, laughing. Holding up her phone, she played the drill sound again. Ella yelled at her for scaring her. Her tongue was bleeding. Talia shrugged. Maybe that would teach Ella to limit her candy intake. Talia then smiled her perfect smile and left the room. Ella's sister always made up stories to try and scare her, but none of them were ever true. So why should I believe this one? She thought to herself. Ella settled into bed with her bag of candy. It was just past midnight when she decided to unwrap a rainbow-striped lollipop and stuck it in her mouth. Defiantly giving it a few licks before she fell asleep, she also decided she'd finish off the rest of her candy tomorrow. When Ella woke up the next morning, she could still taste the lollipop in her mouth. But she could have sworn she put it away before falling asleep. She pulled at the stick. It wouldn't budge. She struggled to yank it out, but it was jammed between her teeth, and her jaw was now glued shut, just like her sister had warned her. The curse. No matter how much she pulled and pulled, the lollipop wouldn't come loose. She ran to the mirror and saw that her teeth had also somehow begun to rot. Whimpering through her cavity-clamped mouth, she ran downstairs to her mom and sister, but she was unable to speak. Her mother thought Ella was being a little prankster and tried to pull the lollipop out, but only the stick broke off. Ella was rushed to the family dentist. The dentist took one look, shook her head, and sent them to a specialist. When the nurse saw Ella's candy-glued teeth, she said they did the right thing coming to Dentist Mike. He loved cases like this. The nurse took her into an operating room immediately, and the doctor was already there, waiting. Ella recoiled when she saw the horrible, twisted face of Dentist Mike. His eyes were open way too wide, and he never blinked. His mouth had a wicked grin of bright white, oversized teeth. Ella's mother and sister, however, didn't seem to notice his monstrous face. In fact, they were charmed by what, to their eyes, looked like a normal-looking dentist. As Dentist Mike put the operating bib around her neck, she thought this must be a prank, that he was in makeup, and her sister would double over laughing at any minute. Ella tugged on Talia's hand and pointed at him, but she couldn't communicate the extent of the horror due to her stuck teeth. Talia chuckled, rolled her eyes at her sister's antics, and said, Ella, it was only a story," as she and their family left the room. The horrific Dentist Mike turned to her, giggling as he approached with the gas mask. "You can see the real me, can't you? A byproduct of the curse. Unlucky you. Oh well, I've been expecting you." He chuckled as he pulled the mask over her mouth. His demented smile somehow widened even further as he raised the drill over her. She tried to scream, but her sealed mouth kept her muffled. The gas immobilized her, but she didn't lose consciousness. So she watched in helpless horror as Dentist Mike slowly drilled into her mouth and yanked out pieces of broken lollipop, and she eventually passed out from shock. Ella woke, gasping for breath. She had no idea how long she'd been out. She prayed it was only a dream, but the numbness of her mouth told her otherwise. Suddenly, Dentist Mike leaned over her and positioned a mirror in front of her face. He giggled and told her to smile. Tears streamed down her face as she opened her mouth. All of her teeth were gone. As Ella wept, she heard crunching and turned to Dentist Mike as he popped something into his mouth. She thought it was candy corn, but soon realized it was her teeth. As he crunched down on the last bits of her candy-covered molars, he thanked her. After all, he waited all year to finally enjoy his treat.